Hi artists, today we're going to draw perspective hallways. Perspective is the art of drawing objects on a flat 2D surface like a piece of paper, but making them look 3D by showing their height, width, their depth, the position of them in relation to each other from a certain viewpoint. So in these pictures, it looks like all the hallways go way back into the distance, even though it's on a flat piece of paper. So here is an actual photo of Normandale hallway, and notice that the locker tops all go back to this vanishing point. Even the tops of the ceilings, the lights, the doorways, the floor, even the reflection. So this light is the same size as the one way down here by the library, but if we want it to look like it's in perspective, we make it look smaller as it goes back to the vanishing point. Same with these lockers. These lockers are the same height as the ones down here, but we draw them smaller to make them look like they go way back. Here's a perspective hallway. All the lines go back to this vanishing point in the center. Here's another hallway. So see the tops of the doors, the tops of the chairs, the flooring tiles, even the signs on the walls, they all go back to this center point. So here's an example of what you're going to be drawing over the next couple days. Today we'll get the pencil drawing down, and then you can add details and color on a second day. So for this project, you will need the long paper that is in your folder. There are 2 long white sheets, and if you don't have a ruler with you, you can use the edge of your folder as a ruler or the edge of the second piece of paper. So this is a 12-inch by 6-inch long piece of paper that is in your white folder. You'll need pencil and eraser also. So start by folding your piece of paper in half so you know where the center is with a small crease. Don't crease it too tight, but just mark where the center is. Then you're going to hand draw a small little square in the center. So I knew where the center fold was. It's a little bit above the center of the paper, but it's about the size of my eraser. You can see here it's about 2 inches tall. No, sorry, 1 inch. 2 to 3 is 1 inch tall. It's about 1.5 inches across. So it's okay if yours is a little bigger, a little smaller. It'll still work out. But I just kind of hand sketched a little rectangular square. I can make this straighter with the ruler later. Then I laid my ruler in the corner of my square and drew a line to the corner of my paper. I did the same with the top. I'm going to do this to all 4 corners. Again, if you don't have a ruler, you can use the edge of another piece of paper or your folder to carefully draw a line. I did this on all 4 corners, and drawing in pencil is really hard to show you up on the screen, so I traced mine in Sharpie just so you could see better. I recommend you do not use Sharpie yet because you might want to add some details that can't be added if you already have Sharpie down. In the center of your little box, can you tell? I should go back. See how I used my ruler to draw my square a little better? The hand sketch one wasn't very good. So I drew my square with a ruler, and then I put a little pencil dot in the middle. This is the vanishing point. This is where all the things on the walls and the floor and the ceiling are going to be drawn to. So just pencil that in. You can erase it later. Then I'm going to do the floor now. I laid my ruler out and I marked every 2 inches. So 2 inch, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You don't have to have a ruler to mark this. You could just kind of put a little dot in the center, and then from the corner to the center, you could mark 2 dots. Just make sure these are kind of even marks. Don't do more than 5 right now. You can always add more later. So then I lined up my ruler piece of paper with the vanishing point and the first mark, and I drew a line. So vanishing point to the first mark. I did this with all of my little marks. I lined it up with the vanishing point and I drew to the mark on the floor. So when I was done, I had these lines on the floor that went to the vanishing point, so they get smaller as they go back to the distance. Then I made some random kind of little marks. I put a mark here about an inch, and then my marks got a little bit closer together because my tiles are going to get closer together as they go to the back of the room or hallway. I used my ruler then parallel with the bottom of the paper, and I drew my lines. See how they got a little closer back here so the tiles look smaller? Do this in pencil. You can always erase and add more tiles later. Okay, now we're going to add some windows or posters or artwork or doors on the wall. It's the same technique depending on no matter what you add. So I line up my ruler with the top of where I want my, say, posters or windows to go, and I drew a line lightly. Then I lined up my ruler or paper with the vanishing point and drew another line. So this is where my windows or artwork should go. Now I use my ruler parallel with the side of the paper. Don't start turning it. Your lines either go to the vanishing point or are parallel with the edges of the paper. I made a little mark here and here and here. And so see how this one's a little closer together. So this little rectangle looks smaller and then this one looks bigger. I erased the lines in between and ended up with like 3 windows on this wall. Or they could be posters or artwork. You decide later. Remember, you shouldn't use Sharpie until you're done drawing everything. I did the same thing on the other side. I lined up the ruler. I made 2 lines. Now this time, instead of stopping at the lines, I'm going to make a doorway. So I drew, see it's parallel with the side of the paper. The top of the door goes to the vanishing point, the bottom of the door. So I drew all the way to the bottom instead of stopping at like the window frame. And then I erased it. So that's how I add like a door frame on one of the walls. Then I added another window or door shape and another door shape here. And I erased my lines as I went. Oops, I missed those. I'll erase them later. So this is the basics of my hallway. I don't have to worry about furniture, decorations. If you can get this far, then the decorating part is just kind of extra and bonus. So try to get this far in pencil. Here's how I added some details if you're ready to move on or need to watch this video again. So I did a frame on each door. I drew that with my Sharpie and my ruler or my paper. That adds a little more simple detail. In the back hall or the back wall, I didn't have to go to the vanishing point. I erased the vanishing point, but this is straight on. So you just draw whatever you want in that little, it could be a door, it could be, artwork or a window. So you don't have to draw the vanishing point in this little square in the back. I added more lines for more tiles because I thought it looked better. So this is the first thing. So I just drew more lines because I thought it looked like fancier, and I'm going to do a checkerboard pattern when I color it in. And here is what I did to my room so far. So I turned these 3 rectangle shapes into paintings. I turned this into a window. I put a doorknob on this door, a light switch. This one, I added a parallel line and turned it into like another hallway or room. I added a plant, artwork, a word, and then I added a light at the ceiling. The way I did the light is I drew the sides to the parallel or the vanishing point, and then I just added the lines and frame and details. I can add a lot more things in color later. I hope you got as far as the room today. And then tomorrow you can add more details and color. You can even try a second one if you have a different idea.